Hello.
Hello, Professor Matri.
Namaskar. How are you, Yogesh?
Fine, thank you, sir. How are you?
Yeah, fine, great.
Hi, Amni.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Professor Maitri.
Good afternoon, Professor
Good
Godwin.
afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. This is Vishal.
Good afternoon, Vishal. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for inviting me here.
I think we can. We can begin.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all the audience members joining us from different corners of the world. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the inauguration of the IFIP Working Group 8.6 conference. I am Sumit Banerjee, your host for today's inauguration. This edition of the conference focuses on the diffusion and adoption of emerging information technology and systems, AI, blockchain, fintech, social media, and Internet of Things. These are the innovations that are already here and will shape how the future of society, organizations, and individuals look like. This conference intends to take that conversation forward. And to help us do that, we are joined by researchers, industry experts, and bureaucrats from 6 different continents of the world for this conference. We have with us, joining us in person and through video conferencing, the people who made this conference possible. We are blessed with the presence of our chief guest, Shri Vishal Dhupar, Managing Director, Asia South at NVIDIA, Dr. Bhimarai Netri, Conference Patron and Director, IIM Nagpur, Professor Godwin Tennyson, Director in Charge, IIM Tiruchirappalli, Professor Yogesh Dwivedi, IFIP Working Group 8.6 Chair, and Professor Sujit Kumar Sharma, Conference Chair. Welcome, sirs. We begin today's proceedings with an invocation of the Almighty. I request everyone in the gathering to please stand up while the invocation song is being played.
Go there. I don't know what is it. After this,
Thank you, sirs. Professor Sujit Kumar Sharma is the conference chair and an associate professor in the area of information systems and analytics at IIM Tiruchirappalli. He has a teaching experience of over 19 years, teaching and interacting with students from Oman, Bahrain, and India. His research has been published in international journals of repute, and he also serves on the editorial board of prestigious journals. He is the chairperson of the doctoral program and research at IIM Tiruchirappalli. I request Professor Sujit Kumar Sharma to kindly give the welcome address.
yeah, good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, everyone. This is Dr. Sujit K. Sharma from IIM Trichy. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to IIM Trichy virtually for this conference.
We started this conference yesterday with the workshop, and parallel sessions are going on today and will continue tomorrow. The IFIP Working Group 8.6 is one of the prominent working group of IFIP. IFIP is the International Federation of Information Processing, which was established way back in 1960. Just to share with you all, in association with IFIP Working Group 8.6, IIM Bangalore hosted first conference in India in 2013. So this is the second time this group is hosting conference in India. So it is a matter of great pride for IIM Trichy to host the IFIP Working Group Conference 2020 in association with the highly reputed IFIP group. The central theme of the conference is reimagining diffusion of information technology and systems, a continued conversation. This conference provides a virtual platform for scholars, academicians, practitioners from India and abroad to share their research findings. To summarize the conference in terms of articles we received a total number of 240 articles using AG Chair. And there were 24 countries representation in these 240 papers. And we appointed 36 track chairs to manage these research papers. And then we assigned minimum 2 reviewers, maximum 4 reviewers to each paper. And the review process was double blind. The number of reviewers we appointed and the number of reviewers who helped us were 217, and 82 institutions around the world participated in this conference. The top institutes, I would like to name few who are participating in this conference are HEC Paris, University of Bradford, Swansea University, many IITs, IIMs, XLRI, MDI, and many more. Out of these 240 articles, we have selected 117 articles. So the acceptance rate for this conference was less than 50%. And there are 29 sessions which are currently going on, and we have appointed 58 session chairs in this conference. All articles presented in this conference are published by Springer, and these all conference proceedings are indexed in Scopus database. We are going to choose 5 commendable papers from these 117 articles, and these the names of the authors and articles will be shared in valedictory session. The process of choosing these 5 papers is like we have selected 20 papers based on reviewers' comments out of these 117. And these 20 papers we have shared with 3 panel members. And they will be choosing 5 best papers out of these 20 papers. So those 5 papers will be commendable papers, which we will be announcing in valedictory session. After this, we are going to come up with 2 special issues in 2 premier journals. We will try to publish 5 to 6 papers in each journal. It will depend on the review process and so on, but yes, we will push this process little faster. And these 2 journals are, number 1, International Journal of Information Management, which is ABDC A star with impact factor 8.2, which is the in a way number 1 journal in information systems domain in terms of impact factor. Number 2, second journal is Information Systems Frontier. This is another ABDC A category journal, and its impact factor is more than 3. So these two special issues are coming in these two premier journals. As far as other key features of this conference are, number one, we had yesterday one paper development workshop by the distinguished professor, Professor Venkatesh. He is the authority in information systems. He is a professor in University of Arkansas, and his Google Scholar citations are more than 100,000. So it is an achievement. So we brought him virtually. He agreed to come physically also with the support of Professor Yogesh Dwivedi. And in addition to this, we are having 3 key note addresses, and these 3 keynote addresses by all 3 top scholars in information systems. So one again by Professor Venkatesh, we had in morning today, and it was well received, highly appreciated, and appreciated by all scholars. And today evening, we are going to have one more keynote address by Professor H. Raghav Rao. He is also one of the senior editor in MIS Quarterly. And we are going to have one more keynote session tomorrow morning by Professor Rajiv Kohli. He has served 2 terms in MIS Quarterly as a senior editor and currently working as a senior editor in information systems research. So he is another prolific scholar. And now this is all about the conference, brief information about the conference. Now I am thankful to Mr. Vishal Dhuppar for sparing time from his busy schedule to share his thoughts on technological challenges and opportunities. I'm grateful to Professor Matri, who is currently director at IIM Nagpur, and he was director at IIM Trichy. And under his leadership, we initiated this conference, and that is why I requested him, sir, you please join us as a patron. He motivated us in the beginning, and this is where we are today. I am very much thankful to Professor Yogesh Dwivedi, Chairperson IFIP Working Group 8.6, and his team, Dr. Amini, Dr. Banita, and others. And we are thankful to Director in charge, Professor Godwin, for his all support, all faculty members, and volunteers and staff members from the institute. And finally, I would like to thank to Santosh Mishra ji, who is with us, who has helped us in many ways. He is a senior IS officer in government of Tamil Nadu. And I extend my best wishes to all the scholars from India and abroad, and sincerely hope you will have the best virtual experience. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We are also joined by Professor Yogesh Dwivedi. Professor Dwivedi is the IFIP Working Group 8.6 Chair and Professor of Digital Marketing Innovation at Swansea University, UK. He is also the founding director of Emerging Markets Research Center and co-director of research at School of Management, Swansea University. He is the editor-in-chief of prestigious International Journal of Information Management. He was also selected as one of the 5 finalists of 2017 Outstanding Research Supervisor of the Year Award by the Times Higher Education Awards. I request Professor Yogesh Dwivedi to kindly address the gathering.
Thank you. May I request to upload the slides, please?
Would you like to share it?
Just I forgot.
Yeah, should I share it from my side?
Yes, sir, you can do that, sir.
Okay, let me check if it allows me to do so. Okay. Can you see it?
Yes, sir. Come see it.
Yes, sir, we can see.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Dr. Sujit Sharma, for such a wonderful introduction and overview. And it's great to see that conference is already going very well. I wouldn't take too long. I just want to say a few words about IFIP 8.6 for those who actually have not been associated with this group previously. I know many of us actually already know and been associated with this group, but some of us may not be. So just to say that this group, as you can see on this slide, is an international group that focuses on diffusion, adoption, and implementation of information and communication technologies. The group itself, as Dr. Sujit mentioned, was established in basically 1993, 1994 in USA by International Federation of Information Processing. And since then, we have visited several countries and organized this event. So, you know, it has a pretty rich history about events and its activities. One of the particular aspect of this academic conference, although it's academic in nature, but it always focused on engaging practitioners in one form or other. And you can see, you know, there is a good level of practitioner engagement in this conference too. I thank Dr. Sharma to engage Mr. Mishra and inviting Mr. Vishal Dhupa to deliver the keynote, to deliver the talk. So thank you very much, everyone. You know, the group, I will come back to show the list of events, but just wanted to say what the group does is organize the conference, as well as it maintains a list server and publishes edited books that actually contributed by the conference participants. So you can find the list of these books on the conference website as shown on this slide. You can find the more detail about the history, evolution of the group on the conference website. Many other details are available. If anyone willing to know and wishes to know, they can find the detail on the website. Here you can see the glimpse of the past events actually that we have organized. You know, starting in 1993 in USA, it has gone twice in USA, Ireland, you know, Denmark, and Australia. In UK, it has been organized thrice. As Dr. Sharma said that, you know, the conference is second time in India. First time it was organized by Professor Rahul Dey from Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, which was a hugely successful and I would say memorable event actually, that we still recall and remember fondly. So this is our second visit to India. And I'm very thankful to IIM Trichy, Professor Bhimrao Maitre, who actually supported the concept, you know, the revisit of this event in India, and Dr. Sharma to put all the effort to bring that to India. You can also see the event has been, you know, organized in Canada, Norway, Finland, you know, Spain, Germany, Sweden, Portugal, and also last year it visited to Ghana, which was our first visit to basically to an African country. And it was very, very, again, very, very successful event. We all still remember our visit to Accra, Ghana in June 2019. So, you know, looking at the history of events of the group, I think we really have ambition to take this group to other Asian countries, Middle Eastern countries, as well as South American countries, where we have not been yet. And I'm sure that will happen in near future. So this is just about where we've been and what we have done. Here is just people who are currently looking after the group. So I am responsible as chair of the group since last 2 years. And my colleague, Dr. Amne Albana and Professor Heli Henriksen are from Copenhagen Business School, our vice chair, and Dr. Benita Lal from University of Bradford is currently acting as a secretary. Although, it's mentioned here University of Bedfordshire, which is actually her old affiliation, but since then she has moved on to University of Bradford. Professor David Vostell, who was actually our one of the founding member, is still supporting the group as a treasurer, and he maintains this membership. So it's amazing to have his support in almost about 27 years for this group. So thank you very much, Professor Dave Vostell, for keep supporting and keep mentoring us to take this group forward. I will just take one more minute, and then I will, request my colleague Amne and Benita to say a few words. Just to say that there is a business meeting tomorrow at 3 to 4 p.m. India time. Everyone who has registered with the conference is welcome to attend the meeting. And the purpose of meeting is to discuss the past events, how they went, and also to discuss future events and to see if anyone has any further proposals, and also other good group activities. So if you are available and if you can join, please join us tomorrow at about 3 p.m. India time. Link is provided here on this slide. So with this, thank you very much for joining in IFIP 8.6 2020 events. I'm sure you will enjoy it. You will have a productive time, and hopefully you will build some connections, networks with researchers from other universities and other countries, which will actually continue in future. So thank you very much. Now I will request Dr. Amne Albana from Royal Holloway to say a few words.
Professor Yogesh, would you like to stop sharing the screen?
Yes,
please?
sure.
Thank you. Okay, so thank you very much, and I'm really delighted to be with you today. A warm welcome to everyone. Would have truly loved to be in Trichy, and I would have really enjoyed my masala tea, but yes, it is what it is at the moment. But I'm truly looking forward to seeing you all in person in the future, and in India and at Trichy as well. So hopefully it will happen in the coming year or so. So thank you very much for attending the conference, and thank you for being part of the IFIP community. And yes, IFIP is IFIP 8.6 is one of the friendliest community in information systems, and it is one of the most inclusive communities. It is a global community. However, we think about it as a family, and we know each other, and we would love you to join our family. So it is a family connection. It is, as Professor Yogi said, it's about network, but it is in a family context. So we know each other, we have the context, and we keep checking on each other even every now and then. So please be part of the community and please try to attend our business meeting. The business meeting is important because if you attend 2 business meetings, you become a member of our community, and we are truly keen to have you as members and expand our family to India so we can have more of Masala tea. And of course, you are most welcome to visit us in our different places. So we are not only placed in the UK, but we are placed everywhere. We have members in Denmark, we have members in Africa, we have members in the Middle East and in the US, so we are truly global. Thank you very much, and I will see you tomorrow in the business meeting. Thanks. Thank you, Professor Yokuch.
Thank you, Dr. Amne Alvana. And Dr. Vanita Lal, would you like to say hello and just a few words? Dr. Sujit, I think Dr. Lal is not able to unmute.
The IT team is working. I think they will.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay, hi. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the conference. Really lovely to see everybody at the crack of dawn this morning. Just going around the different sessions. We're starting off with Professor Venkatesh's keynote speech, then going to the other sessions. What has been really lovely this morning is to see how vibrant the rooms are. So thank you very much for everybody who's presented and for the session chairs, because I was so envious of the energy that's going around the rooms, and you wouldn't believe that, you know, these people have never met one another. And I think that's the most amount of traveling I've done. I went to Ireland, I went to Australia by simply going to the different rooms. So that's been great. Something I'd like to touch upon that Amani mentioned, actually, the IFIP group is a community, and you build connections that will probably last many, many years. So like Amani and Yogesh, I've been associated with the conference for quite a few years. And it seems like a long time ago now, June 2019, when Yogesh, Amani, and Dr. Sajid were sitting in Accra, Ghana, planning this Trichy conference. So although it didn't quite go to plan in person, as Amani said, we'll look forward to visiting you very soon. And thank you very much for the excellent preparations. Enjoy the conference.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lal. Dr. Sarma, over to you now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Amni and Professor Vanita, for inviting us to the IFIP family. Thank you, Yogesh sir, for letting us know the glorious history of IFIP and the future vision you envisage for the group. Professor Godwin Tennyson is the director in charge at IIM Tiruchirappalli. He is also the founding faculty member of Operations Management and Decision Sciences area here at IIM Tiruchirappalli. Before joining academia, he has worked as business analytics and operation research consultant to leading IT companies. His academic work has been published in international journals, book chapters, and international conference proceedings. I welcome Professor Godwin Tennyson to address the gathering.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I think this is a very happy occasion for us as an institute. And at this point, let me mention Professor Maitri's contribution here as a director, because he was the one who actually built this conference culture at our institute. And under his vision and leadership, we had actually organized 4 different conferences in the past. And this is the 5th conference where he played a very significant role at the planning stage. And this is a very unique conference and at a very unique time. Now we are going through this particular pandemic where everything is actually IT dependent. Okay? And now we are in a scenario where gone are those days where IT was part of our life. Now we are part of IT. Now that's how it has actually evolved. And truly, but for this IT, we could not have really gone through this particular phase. in fact, many of the continuity of the business during this time of the pandemic was actually could actually continue because of the IT. And this conference has actually planned, and in fact, it could not have been in a much better time than this, where we could actually relate to the significance of IT. And it is a time where IT has actually manifested in different ways, where we could actually meet and gather. And it's a very interesting phenomenon. Yes, this is a very nice conference with so many countries participating. And it's not just the conference part where many countries are participating. We had a truly international team that worked, that led to this particular conference. I mean, even before these 3 dates. Okay, so I really congratulate the entire team who had worked for this particular conference. And I'm sure you'll get a lot of output and a lot of knowledge creation that would actually happen. It's not just simply knowledge sharing, but knowledge creation that is going to happen through this particular conference. I wish the very best. I don't want to take much time, but I just want to end the note, my note, with a open invitation to all of you to come and visit our campus. Our campus is one of the best campuses in the country, and our business school is one of the top schools in the country. Do visit us, and given the trend that has been set by Professor Maitri, we've been organizing at least 1 or 2 conferences every year, and there will be more avenues in the future. And we also look forward to host this particular working conference again in the future. So definitely there will be more avenues for you to come and visit our institute. So with that note, I just want to congratulate the entire team and welcome all the participants to this particular conference. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for looking at the significance of this conference during pandemic and supporting this conference to fruition. We also have a very important member of this conference with us, Dr. Bhimara Maitri. Dr. Maitri is the director, IIM Nagpur and conference patron. He is a distinguished academician, renowned teacher, researcher, and an astute administrator. An outstanding leader of management education, he has performed key leadership roles at many premier management institutes and corporates in his remarkable career. Dr. Maitri is also the former director of IIM Tiruchirappalli. His work in the area of project management, quality management, and supply chain management has featured in many international journals and academic books. Dr. Maitri is a member of the Indian National Commission for Cooperation with UNESCO. He is also the chairman of All India Council for Technical Education. I welcome Dr. Maitri to kindly address the gathering.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. I think one correction, I am the All India Board of Management Study, All India Board of Management, AICT, I am currently heading. With this, first of all, I congratulate the conference chairs, Professor Sujit Sharma, and the great mentorship of Professor Yogesh Diviji, and the great guidance of Professor Godwin. This conference today, it has taken a shape of 6 continents, 24 countries, and 82 institutions. Itself speaks a lot about another benchmark. IIM Trichy has set. It is a 5th conference and the highest benchmark. This conference every year, I think Trichy has been habit of setting a new benchmark as far as conferences are concerned. First conference, the benchmark set by our director, Professor Godwin, and now the 5th conference under the chairmanship of Professor Sujit. It has again broken the many records, and again among the 21 IFIM Working Group 8.6 conferences, this IIM Trichy conference is again unique. Unique in the sense, out of 21 conferences, this is the 21st one, and out of the 20, if you leave apart this, all have been done face to face, and this is the one blended. Again, it is a unique and it is first of its kind in the IFIP Working Group 8.6 conference. I think this kind of record setting, benchmarking could happen only when people like, Yogesh Divedi, yoga and 2 Vedas come together, nobody can stop anything to happen. And the in charge of our IIM Trichy director, Godwin. So if you look at the people, those who are part of the conference, one is yoga and two Vedas, one is God and Win, and Amini is there, and again Banita. So all these kind of leaders, if you decide, I think you can only set a benchmark, and that is what I think all people are witnessing. So I congratulate all of you for your effort, and today I think I can see the fruits are realizing. And the way Sujit was talking about yesterday's event and today and tomorrow, I think the entire IFIP Working Group 8.6 conference is a colorful conference, and lot of takeaway from each one of us from this conference. And I am sure not only takeaway for those who are participating, probably those who are organizing next year, they are also going to have many best practices they will take from IIM Trichy, and to again set a new record and also make a new benchmark. This conference is going to be a valuable foundation for IFIP Working Group 8.6. Apart from that, I must say that the kind of work, effort, last 1 year, Sujit and his entire team, and the great international leadership given by Yogesh ji, this conference has taken this shape, and I am sure this only demonstrates if you work hard and if you work smart, then nobody can stop you to set a benchmark of this 21st IFIP Working Group 8.6 conference. One can see a great heights, and also it has stand up in the crowd in many ways, because participation from 6 continents in spite of pandemic, I think this itself speaks a lot about. So I wish a good luck for all the 3 days conference, 17, 18, 19, and a lot of deliberations. And the great part about this conference, what I can see, what I can hear from Sujit, is the book which is Scopus indexed. It is already in place, and most of the conferences, they will get dry, but this is the conference which is full of, those who have participated, they have a happy note, and their papers have been, out of 240, 117, very stringent review each paper, and then those who are appearing in the Scopus index book, as well as 2 special issue high impact factor journals. So I am sure these things definitely make a mark, those who are participating and those who are in, joining this particular IFIP Working Group 8.6 conference. So that is basically benefiting a lot to everybody, and probably in future those who get into the conference, they will learn a lot how to get the proceeding and special issues, particularly high quality, high impact factor. So that is another important feature of this conference. With this, once again, I thank Sujit, Yogesh ji for their chairmanship for this conference, and the leadership of Professor Godwin, and thank all of you for inviting me to say a few words about this conference. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. Wish you good luck, and wish a grand success of IFIP Working Group 8.6 21st conference at IIM Tiruchirappalli. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you, sir, for your vision and constant support in making us do better in each conference we conduct. Thank you, sir, also for correcting me. I'm sure in the next conference we conduct, I will not make the same mistake. Thank you, sir. We also have with us as chief guest, Shri Vishal Dhupar, Managing Director Asia South at NVIDIA. He has a 25-year-long experience in the information and communication technology industry. Prior to joining NVIDIA, he has served in the leadership position at Symantec, Autodesk Incorporated, and Sun Microsystems. His experience across diverse businesses of servers, graphics, security, networking, and data storage makes him one of the giants of the information technology industry. We are privileged to have him with us as chief guest. I welcome Shri Vishal Dhupar to kindly give the keynote address for the IFIP Working Group 8.6 conference.
Thank you, Sumit. That was a generous introduction. The 25 years has now become 33 years, and I've ended up losing all my hair. Well, namaskar, because I think that's the best universal way to welcome everyone. It's a global conference. It's an honor to be part of a global conference, and I want to thank Professor Sharma, Mr. Mishra, for thinking about me and bringing me to your family and a community which I believe is really robust and doing so well. I'm also extremely humbled. I'm extremely humbled because there are scholars, the scholars of technology who've been talking here. And for me to come and talk about and kickstart this conversation is really an humbling impact. Having said that, we are living in extraordinary times. I'm coming to you from my home at Bangalore. I'm hoping many of you are safely sheltered in their homes. And those who are at work are taking sufficient precautions to staying safe. I also want to take this opportunity to sympathize with everyone who has been impacted by COVID-19. I want to thank all those brave men and women who are at the forefronts fighting against COVID-19. For me personally, the point of light has been about the technology fraternity coming together with the frontline warriors, the scientists, researchers, administrators, and making sure that we are not only containing the disease, mitigating the disease, treating the disease, but also tracking and monitoring. For me, the presence that is defined with uncertainties, daunting challenges, and unprecedented needs highlights only one aspect, and an aspect that you as a working group are extremely passionate about. That is to show that most innovations happen because of technology. It is because of technology business models change and they give opportunities for new businesses to those who are able to see it early. As a result of which, of course, the consumer behavior changes too. We are indeed in the convergence of technology and acceleration of disruptions everywhere. I unfortunately don't have any slides, but I'd like you to really visualize one of the most powerful innovations of our time, the internet. If you visualize the internet as it exists today, you realize that it has connected more than half the world, and more importantly, it has made it mobile. It drives trillions and trillions of dollars of economy by this connectivity. And as I speak, there's a brand new internet emerging. A brand new internet emerging because compute is now capable of running new algorithms at the edge. Because of wireless, we are able to sprinkle computers everywhere. Because of AI, we are able to write software for the very first time with the computer writing the software. For the very first time, the software can be in any environment, any environment. It can understand that environment, it can reason with that environment, and can take possible actions within that environment. This really brings me to the synthesis of the way I have understood technology. And I like to really speak about AI. And I know there are many, many scholars within this forum who are probably listening to me and probably defining the AI the way it needs to be defined. But there is just one thing I understand, that AI is all about software writing software. As a fraternity, we've come to this realization. We've come to a realization that we can augment the lives of our software engineers by allowing a set of data, what people call as digital experiences, that run on massive compute, what people call as supercomputers, on a new algorithm called deep learning, and we can teach computer certain tasks. Computer can write software that no human can write software. And this is what I call is transformational. It's transformational because a domain expert for the very first time can take his or her digital experience and have a computer write that software, changes everything around us. This observation was made about 7, 8 years back. It's been extremely profound, where software writes the software. It's not just about a software engineer who sits on his or her keyboard through their learning, through their imagination, driven through the first principles of science and heuristics, is able to write the software. That software today can be augmented, with the humongous amount of data that is around us, combined with the algorithms that are being written, and more importantly, a compute that is able to bring all this stuff together. I'm very certain many of you are thinking that, look, we know about algorithms since 80s. We know about sourcing data since early 2000. Why is Vishal now talking about a profound impact? We're talking about this profound impact, this perfect storm today, because you have a compute in conjunction with data and algorithms doing that justice. Now, if this is really true, that a large amount of data that's run on compute can write software by itself, it takes me to my main theme of discussion, and over the next 10 minutes or so, I'd really like to talk to you about certain observations that I have about its implications, the developments, and maybe a couple of developments that are taking place as we talk, and possibly kindle some of the imaginations of the people who are listening to it, and hopefully make this an interesting conversation for all of us. My first observation is really that software has become superhuman. In just last 5 to 6 years, it's moved from being as dumb as a brick to being superhuman. It is basically now more superior to many, many humans by itself. What does it really mean? What it really means is gone are the times when we could shrink wrap a software. Till very recent times, we would have a domain expert interact with a software engineer, explain them their business problem. Based on the knowledge of the software engineers, they will write a software. It will be introduced as a beta. There'll be a feedback mechanism that will be gained. And the moment that beta is good enough, we'll press a button, 1 million copies will be printed, shrink wrap, and it'll come into play. When the domain experts feel that there are certain feature sets that need to be added, new versions will be introduced. But now it's not possible. Software is gigantic. The software that is written by the computer is so large that you cannot shrink wrap that package. We really need to look at how the software is sourced, how the software is curated, how the software is learned, how the software is deployed. And at all given times, it's always in beta, and at all given times, it's always being OTA'd. And therefore, the world is about companies that will be software defined. It's about products that will be software defined, about companies that will be programmed, about software that will be programmed. In fact, this is going to be the world of a defined software. This very approach, which is an algorithmic approach, software combined with data, run on supercomputers, produces amazing results. And obviously, we are talking about the second observation, which is a data-driven world. If the companies and the products and services have to be software defined, then we also need a data strategy. A data strategy on how do we capture data, what data we use, what data we don't use, and what data do we interestingly fuse together. We would need data methodologies, the kind of tools that we will need to plumb data at its edge, bring that intelligence to our homes, the cloud, to our data centers, bring it into the hands of our software engineers, and very rapidly take it back to the edge. How do we simulate results? How do we create strategies for ingesting data, for processing data, for analyzing data, for validating data, petabytes and petabytes of data? And I'll come to the main point there. How do we reject data? How do we reject data to a tune of 99.99%? How does that AI know that the data that's coming to me is already known to me? It's talking about multiplication, which I already know. I've already learned this, I don't need it. And then only inherit that 0.1% which it doesn't know and continuously improves itself. That, in my mind, is the data-driven world. My third observation really resides that how do we go around and create and reason with AI at the edge? A lot of work has to happen at the edge predominantly because it is at the edge because of latency issues, maybe because of contextual issues, maybe regulatory issues. We will capture the data at the edge. We'll pipeline that into a data center, create an AI, and have that operate. The examples are because the doctors cannot share that information and knowledge publicly. They may need to sit with machines that are intelligent enough and work on it. It could be because of robocars and other cars, which will need to actually take decision instantly. There's no time for it to have latency and take a decision. These are the examples that we need to figure out how do we really work on it. With this three observation, I really want to quickly move towards two developments that I'm noticing. Extremely excited about these developments, would like to share with you. The first development that is really taking place is in the area of language. Language is going through the ImageNet movement. I'm excited about the language because in context to India, it is an inclusive thing. Many other developed countries, it's a good to have things. For our nation that speaks in multiple languages, speaks in mixed languages, building a language model is extremely important. Deploying that into a conversational AI is extremely important. As I can see you, and I can understand through your gestures, whether you're really enjoying my conversation, how bored you are at it, how interested you are in listening to me. We want machines to be able to do the same, so that as we become inclusive with machines and people and devices and sensors, we are able to do conversation in real-time basis. My other development, which is really interesting, is the infusion of physics in neural networks. Parts of neural networks becoming differential equations, both on the input side, where some of the differential equations can be inserted in neural networks, and on the other side, where neural networks can be put into differential equations. The fusion will help us to bring two sciences, computer simulation science and a data-driven science, to do work at a planet scale. On one end, the computer simulation can act as ground truths, neural networks can learn, and more importantly, neural networks can work with computer science to reduce the time of experiments. A net result of which was what's happening to us right now. As most of you really know, that in the pharmaceutical industry, it takes over a decade to find a right medication. It costs billions of dollars, and the success rate is less than 10%. With this pandemic, with a combination of technology that we're talking about, we've created data in just one quarter, which is more than what was created in 3 years of the history of pharmaceutical. Result, we are now soon talking about vaccines coming in and helping us tide over pandemic. In fact, what it's doing for us is this algorithm is going to help us to create a health defense system even for future pandemic if it is struck to us. Which now takes me to the last part of my conversation, which is really kindling the thought. With all the observations, with all the development, what is going to happen to us around us? The serendipity is around us. The convergence of internet, AI, wireless technologies, IoT is just amazing. Think about this, how our products and services are going to change, how our companies are going to change, how our industry is going to change, how our government is going to change, how our country is going to change. I still remember the days when I will ask my parents, what's the most exciting product that you've got? And they'll tell us a car, maybe a TV. And they would even get excited when it was programmed that for brightness, they could program it depending upon how they wanted to look at it. That was a world of 1.0 products. There were similar services around us. And during our time, we got used to virtual applications, intrinsic applications. If I was in Trichy, if I was staying at a hotel, my most used application would have been Google Maps. I would have reached Trichy IM without asking anyone. I would have been in on time. It would have told me exactly how it needs to be used. It is an intrinsic application. It scales to the planet levels, but it improves on usage. It is continuously improving. All the time it is improving. The more we use, the better it gets. And that's why they encourage all of us to interact with it. But for real life problems to get solved, we need to get to stage 3. We need ecosystems of platforms working. If my friend Sumit, who is now going through multiple papers, if I was to plan a movie with him, if I had to ask Professor Sharma to join me for a movie, through our conversation, the platforms need to understand where we are based, what is our calendar showing as a free time, knowing what our hunger habits are, and be able to tell three of us, I recommend that you go to this movie hall at this time. And by the way, since you all were busy with the conference, lunch will be served to you via this restaurant at this time. We want real life problems to be solved for that Kisan who's sitting and agitating, so that we have a system which can enable them to work. Often in India, when I talk about autonomous cars, people tell me that the day autonomous vehicles can become a reality in India, that's where technology has done better than ever before. And what I tell them, what if in the city of Bangalore where I live, if that autonomous vehicle in a slow moving traffic can give me time without concentrating on the road to do some other work and maintain that distance and not basically clash, it frees me up, it reduces my tension. If it can go and park in that empty slot, that is what the world is all about. On those notes of kindling the thoughts, I would like to wish this conference the very best. Hopefully, this discussion is the fundamental basis of many people who are listening to it. I do realize that there are many scholars. They're talking about the investment. Please leverage those, take full advantage of it. And I wish you the very best for the rest of the conference. And on some day, I will become the member of this family and hopefully enjoy it with you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for highlighting this conference as the confluence of the best of academia and the best of industry. Thank you, sir, for sharing your understanding of how information technology is changing the way we live, the developments happening in IT right now, your understanding of a data-driven world, and what we should focus on in this data-driven world. Thank you, sir, for sharing your vision of ecosystems of platforms working together. And sir, that idea of going out for a movie is a great one. I'm sure other members of the gathering will also like to join us on that. Thank you, sir, for your address. Now I'd like to invite Sri Vimal Kumar M, Conference Secretary, to kindly deliver the vote of thanks.
Honorable Chief Guest, present excellencies, faculties, my dear fellow conference participants. It is my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. I, on behalf of IIM Trichy Fraternity, IFIP Working Group 8.6, and on my own behalf, extend a very hearty vote of thanks to all the dignitaries for taking time out of your busy schedule and gracing this inauguration ceremony of IFIP Working Group 8.6 Conference 2020. I would like to thank our Honorable Chief Guest, Thiru Vishal Dhupar, Managing Director, Asia South at NVIDIA, for joining us today and sharing your valuable insights on the current opportunities and challenge of technology, particularly the definition of AI, software writing software, the algorithmic approach, data-driven strategy, create and reason with AI at the edge, the upcoming models of like language models, infusion of physics in neural network. If I want to sum this, what I got from Vishal sir's presentation is that though man and machine partnership is the future of the industry, we see an ontological reversal where machine comes first and humans are second in the line, which is the opposite of what we had earlier. Sir, thank you for all your insights. We hope we learned a lot and all our scholars will be able to utilize your insights. I also wish to thank our Honorable Conference Secretary, Conference Patron, Dr. Bhimaraya Maitri, Director, IIM Nagpur, for gracing the occasion and his continuous guidance and support for this conference. Thank you, sir. I am also grateful to our beloved Director in charge, Dr. Godwin Tennyson, for his stewardship, vision, commitment, and unstinted support for this conference. Thank you, sir. On behalf of the conference committee and IIM Trichy, I express my heartfelt thanks to Chairperson of IFIP Working Group 8.6, Professor Yogesh Vivedi, for his confidence in us for organizing this conference and for guiding us throughout. I also wish to express my gratitude to Conference Chairperson, Dr. Sujit Sharma, for being instrumental in making this conference a reality during such unprecedented times. I would also like to extend my sincere thanks to all the track chairs, session chairs for being a source of constant support. Ladies and gentlemen, an event like this cannot happen overnight. It requires immaculate planning and execution. I wish to place on record our hearty thanks to the organizing team, the faculty members, the doctoral students of IIM Trichy, the volunteers from across the globe, Dr. Sanjit and his IT team, Mr. Ravi, Mr. Muthukumar, Mr. Vincent and their administrative team, finance and accounting team, Mr. Ponraj and his estate team, and the housekeeping staff for their tireless efforts in making this event a success. Last but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for being with us this morning and making this conference a resounding success. It has been a great pleasure. Hope you all will have an interactive learning experience throughout the conference. Thank you very much. I request everyone to stand in honor of the national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे